Technology has revolutionized the world we live in. With rapid development in artificial intelligence, we've created a reliance on automation, but also a fear of the unknown. A certain unease has grown to wonder how far it can all go. Will technology misuse our information, make our jobs obsolete, or even surpass us? With the human race bound to the frightening power of machines, will there come a time where we will all have to submit to technology terror?
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we watch and dissect your favorite spooky movies.
I'm your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this is a mostly horror podcast.
Each season, we will rank 13 movies on a scariness scale from, you guessed it, 1 to 13.
We will uncover the real-life myths and legends that inspire these movies and tell you just how authentic they are.
This week, we ignore some calls from One Missed Call.
So, Stephanie.
Yes.
Have you seen One Missed Call before we watched it for the podcast?
I did, actually.
Is this the only one that you saw
pretty
before?
much, aside from Smart House.
Wow, we got one! Woo!
But I remembered nothing about it.
That's fair.
I watched it with Ronnie, so many years ago. Guess in 2008, maybe, 2009.
Yeah.
So I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
So I texted him. I'm like, what do you remember about One Missed Call? And he's like, that it was dumb, the song, and that you were scared for no reason.
Yeah. Like with basically every other movie I've seen before, I saw it when it came out. And I remember it also being not good.
Yeah.
Shocking. Stephanie, we have a not good movie on our list. Whatever will we do?
We will be so shocking if we have a season where all the movies are good.
No, please.
You know, right?
We'll be like, what is going on? And this is the last movie we covered. And what the hell? Another banger to end the season on.
Yes.
One Missed Call. We had that rated as an 8.
Okay.
That checks out.
There's some jump scares and stuff. It's a little spoopy in places, but it's just...
It's a little spoopy.
But it's not the scariest thing you've ever seen either.
No.
The storyline is just really predictable.
Yeah. And some of the visuals are good from afar.
Mm-hmm.
They make the mistake of zooming in
on that
and you're
shit. Yeah.
What? Okay, never mind.
Right.
It was effective from far away, that distance, something's not right kind of a thing. And then they're like, here you go. This is what we're looking at.
No, you didn't need to do that.
That was a mistake, actually. That was the opposite of what you should have done.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of like Final Destination-y, though, too, because of the whole, predictability of everyone dying.
Mm-hmm. Which is what, we'll go in the plot, but kind of our last movie had a similar predicting deaths kind of a situation.
Right.
I didn't even connect that when I was watching these two. But yeah, they both have to deal with predicting death.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to dive into some movie background?
Sure.
You're like, please no. Please God, no.
No, I'm curious.
There's not much. One Missed Call is a 2008 supernatural horror film directed by Eric Valette and written by Andrew Clavin. It's an international co-production between the United States, the United Kingdom, Japan, and Germany.
A lot of countries on this.
Why? Why did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
That was stupid.
Okay.
But like a lot of the movies we covered, this is a remake of the 2003 Japanese film of the same name, directed by Takashi Miike. Sorry, which itself is based on the Yasushi Akamoto novel Chakushin Ari. I was looking up this version, and I did know how to say that at one point.
Oh, okay.
The movie is, I think, also called that at times, or has been.
Chakushin
Ari or something.
Oh, okay.
I heard it being said. But again, another technology movie based off of Japanese film. And next time we do this, if it's a Japanese film first, we're watching the Japanese version. Because again, I heard the Japanese one is actually a good movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We just need to stop doing that.
Right. Or people stop remaking Japanese movies
that are already good. Yeah.
It's The Ring's fault when we covered it.
All
It
right.
started the whole J-horror situation. And
Apparently, yeah.
this is like the third or fourth one this season.
It was a lot. It was Shudder, The Ring, this, and one other.
Pulse,
yes.
4 out of the 13 have been...
Damn. Not intentional either.
No. But here we are. the Japanese people know how to make a good technology horror
Apparently.
movie. However, Americans don't know how to
remake a technology horror.
Right. They don't know what to do with the subject matter, so they're just like, this is good enough.
Yeah.
You're like, absolutely not. The film was released in North America on January 4th, 2008, where horror movies go to die.
Mm-hmm.
January 4th.
Yes.
Despite being a moderate box office success, the film was panned by film critics, with many regarding it as the worst J-horror remake to be released. It became the worst reviewed film of 2008, receiving a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes and winning a Moldy Tomato Award.
I didn't know a Moldy Tomato Award was a thing, but that's
now
fun.
You do. We literally hit the bottom of the barrel here.
Right, just scraping 0%.
It out. I'm like, damn, I don't know if it's quite a 0.
Yeah. It's trying.
Is it?
A little.
I could see some effort if I squint my eyes a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, try.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a 0. Like it's entertaining in parts, but overall, again, not great.
Yeah. Honestly, I think some of them, like Shudder and Lawnmower Man, were probably worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Story-wise,
I would say Shudder was worse. Again, I enjoyed Lawnmower Man.
It's a very niche, though, I think.
Yeah. It's at least more interesting, I feel.
Yeah, it's creative in that way, I guess.
Hey, it's definitely something. It's definitely a thing. It was a film. It's one of the greatest films.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One of the films. All right. But, interesting fact, One Missed Call includes most of the scenes and characters that were in the original 2003 film. These included the exorcism scene where one of the characters is killed while filming the show American Miracles. So that was a lot of these. I won't say a lot, but a good portion of the scenes were very similar to what they were in the Japanese. And I was like kind of flipping through, and I could kind of see like the same story beats at least. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh,
so that was just something interesting. And all the characters of Beth, Leanne, Taylor, Jack, Brian, and Shelley do have a direct connection to another character in the Japanese version. So they did keep
all the cast kind of the same. Okay. That's good.
And then one interesting thing, in the trailer for this movie, while Leanne is walking down the street, a piece of the original ringtone from the Japanese One Missed Call plays in the background until she falls in the overpass. So they kind of included it because there's a different ringtone in that one, but they did include it, at least in the trailer, from what I could gather.
Okay.
So that's a little fun little nod. My sister had that ringtone as her ringtone for a while when this movie came out.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing?
Ronnie and I made up a song at the time for it.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Well, you brought it up. You have to do it now.
Okay. I think it was him trying to like make me feel less scared about it. So we would sing it whenever the song came on.
Oh, okay.
So we'd be like, what's in the box? It is a phone. What's in the phone? It is a ghost. What's in the ghost? It is a spirit. Like, it just kind of went on and on like that. What's in the spirit? It is a flower.
A flower?
I don't know. I don't know where we went with it, but it happened.
It just evolved every time.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. What's in the box? It is a phone.
But it'll stay with you, I promise.
I'm going to be singing that for the next year.
Yes.
Oh no. Great.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue with the background.
That was it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In summation, it's shit, and it's somewhat similar to the Japanese movie.
Okay.
But somehow way worse. So, take that as you will.
Per usual.
Per usual. Wow, an American remake from a Japanese movie. Although, again, The Ring was good at least.
Yes, that was unexpected for everybody else, I guess.
It was very shocking. It was the one and only time.
Yes. Ready to dive into the plot?
Absolutely.
Oh, he's so ready.
So ready.
We start off seeing a paramedic rescue a little girl from a fire at St. Luke Hospital. They ask if her mom was inside, and she says nothing.
Thanks. She's like, whatever.
I was also, like, very confused that it was a hospital. I just saw, like, little banners on the door saying emergency, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, did they put them up after the fire started?
By the way, if you don't notice the blazing fire,
Emergency.
we're having an emergency. So don't go in the building.
It just looks so rickety, kind of like and thrown together. I was like, what the?
The set design.
Yes.
They tried? Question mark.
Yeah. In the next scene, a college student, Shelley, investigates her koi pond after her cat stood by it meowing. Suddenly, a hand emerges and drowns her and her cat, leaving a red candy floating in the water.
Another cat.
I know, they hate cats.
I was going to text you, but then I watched this late last night. I'm like, she probably already watched this.
I did.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I'm
it
not
was
going to
so
warn.
quick, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, it just made me wonder. I'm like, so who called the cat? Because technically, the cat would have had to have a phone call before this happened.
She has a little cell phone.
She's like, oh no. Like,
meow, meow. Meow. Meow.
She can't tell anybody about it for
Meow,
some
meow.
reason.
Meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Meow. So, days later, Beth and her friend Leanne discuss Shelley's funeral when a lullaby-like ringtone sounds from Leanne's phone, leaving her a voicemail. The message is dated 2 days in the future and is of Leanne screaming. On the day of the message, Leanne calls Beth while walking home after studying the library because she's seeing cryptic images of dead people and centipedes.
Can I say, they threw out every single spooky imagery that they had in their arsenal in this one scene.
They're like, what can we make? What can we do?
They showed all of it immediately and then just reused this over and over and over. And again, this is part of the, it looked cool from afar kind of a thing because we saw like a dead looking dude and then like
on a bus, and then they'd zoom in and you'd be like, oh, it's just really good makeup.
And then there was that woman that has mouths for eyes that looks stupid. And then, centipedes everywhere, which I do not appreciate.
It was just a random thing, too. Like, such a random choice.
Yeah, so you see basically everything this movie has to offer in this one scene because they're just going to reuse these assets over and over the rest of the movie.
Yes.
So if this little snippet didn't do nothing for you, the rest of the movie is definitely not going to do anything.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You're going to be fine. Because they will show you everything and it's going to look like poop.
Yes. So Beth rushes to her location, but only arrives in time to see her fall from an overpass and get struck by an oncoming train.
Oops.
A red candy pops out of her mouth and her severed hand dials a phone number on her phone. And that's like the creepiest thing to me. I was like, why is it still doing shit? Like,
no, it's just like 911.
No one's talking about that. Like,
yeah, they probably didn't see. They're probably too focused on, the massacred body.
I guess.
Her hand.
That's like, like it's way up there. Just like really like going to town on text messages.
Yeah, sending a message to Beth. I died, LOL. Like, rip me.
Right. At Leanne's funeral, the weird scenarios of the recent deaths are discussed, and her ex-boyfriend Brian freaks out, saying the deaths have nothing to do with each other, and leaves abruptly. Yeah, meaning they have everything to do with each other.
You're not very subtle there, buddy.
Yeah. Beth goes to comfort him at a coffee shop, and he reveals a voicemail of himself before his death, dated a few minutes away. Across the street, a tank at a construction site explodes, and a pipe flies through the air and impales him.
Oh, this was some Final Destination shit.
Yeah, that's why it reminded me the most of it. I was like, damn, all right.
Okay.
Again, a red candy comes out of his mouth as he collapses dead.
Bro, I'll be eating these candies, though. That's 2 right there she could have had.
Right.
They're big pieces.
Yeah.
What flavor do you think they are? Cherry? They're red.
I don't know. They're almost like an orangish or something.
Oh, maybe.
At first,
blood orange. That might be good.
Probably, honestly. Honestly, the first time I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, when they pop out of the water, I was like, is that supposed to be eyes? Like,
I know. It doesn't really look like candy.
yeah, it's
'cause
just kind of like a
huge-
marble size.
It's big. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
That's a choking hazard for children. Don't
And
eat
you
that.
definitely notice if someone had it in their mouth before.
Yeah.
But okay.
They're ghost candies popping out.
Yes. I wonder if that could save you. If you ate a ghost candy after someone died, you'd be like, oh, thank you. And the ghost is like, well, you took the candy, so.
Yeah, maybe that's like, all you have to do is eat this candy.
Right.
I'm literally
Out of
giving
this
you the answer.
dead person's mouth.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Shit. None of this makes sense, so might as well.
Right. The next day, Beth meets Detective Jack Andrews, whose sister Jean knew Shelley from interning at St. Luke's Hospital and died 2 days prior. This makes no sense to me because it seems like the hospital incident with the fire was like far away.
Yes.
So you're telling me that she was interning at a burned down hospital 2 days ago? Like,
I don't know if you mentioned this, but the one part of this movie pissed me off so much where they didn't think to track the calls. I don't know if you mentioned this.
they sort of, I guess they did when they tracked down like who called at St. Luke's eventually.
Eventually.
Don't they?
But no, because like he's like, all I had to do was track the call that they didn't do when he was kind of going rogue.
Oh, okay.
They never traced the calls. That's like the first thing you need to.
Right.
Anyways, the whole point being, these detectives are fucking useless.
Right.
The whole department fired.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they do not care about anything that's happening.
Yeah, that's my next sentence. I was like, the police want to chalk it up
Okay.
to like unusual accidents, but Andrews believes the deaths are related and provides his contact card to Beth. So that evening, Beth consoles her friend Taylor, who feels like she's next, so they take out the batteries in their phones to avoid receiving any messages. Later on, Taylor's cell phone rings, even though like the battery's out, so it shouldn't do any of this stuff.
Should not be doing anything.
When she opens to a video of her apparent demise.
A video this time.
Yes. Yeah, she's getting more creative.
Oh my God. I mean, a video in 2008 on a flip.
Right?
First of all, these are all flip phones. Remember when flip phones were real cool?
Mm-hmm.
My first phone was a flip phone. I thought it was so neat.
I had like a little slide.
Oh, you had a slider phone?
Not like one of those big fancy ones with the huge keyboard. Mine was like doubled as like an MP3.
Oh.
It was real fun. It was like, it kind of slid and it was long, not wide.
Was it the chocolate phone?
I don't know if it was chocolate, but when you shut it, it looked like an MP3.
Yeah. The chocolate was like that. I wanted that phone so
I
bad.
loved it.
They
It was
had-
the best
what
thing
color
ever.
was it?
It was black, actually.
Okay, I'll have to show you, see if it's the same thing. But my friend had a chocolate phone, and I was so jealous of him. He had a ice blue chocolate phone.
Yeah.
I wanted it. Anyways,
The following morning, Jack and Beth researched geriatric nurse Marie Layton, originator of the calls, and find the autopsy report of her eldest daughter, Ellie, who died from an acute asthmatic episode. The file mentioning no bruising but evidence of past scars with an attached CPS file for further consultation indicates that Jean, a psychiatric nurse, questioned Marie at St. Luke's and noted 9 admissions between April and May for Ellie and her sister Laurel. Concerning several causes, leading Beth to assume that Marie had Munchausen by proxy. Meanwhile, TV producer Ted Summers, who approached Taylor earlier, prepares to record her exorcism, explaining that spiritual energy operates in the same electromagnetic spectrum as light microwaves and is therefore transmissible via cellular phones from which it manifests as hallucinations.
this came out of nowhere.
Right.
But you know what? Honestly, I was all for it. I'm like, yes, let's do this.
Honestly. And Beth tries to stop her, and I was like, bitch, I don't know. Like, you have 3 friends die beforehand. You might give it a try.
Right. I was like, let's do this. You know, at least this is somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
I
Like,
mean,
let's
I get it. I
televise
get
this.
why she did it. Like, noticing the show's advertisement on TV, Beth races to the site, arriving to an unseen force fatally choking Taylor. Her phone then sounds with a voicemail dated for tomorrow, so she gets less time.
Oh, well, so Taylor, let's set the scene here. They're like at a church.
Yeah.
And there's this whole production.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the lights go out. It's all this dramatic. This part was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
But she gets choked out like
Right.
in front of everybody. And
From like the inside, like you
Yeah,
see
her-
like a hand on the
Mhm.
inside of her throat, like an impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was like that was the coolest part of the movie for me, I think.
Kind of.
I was kind of interested in the whole like TV aspect of it.
Yeah, and then like Jesus and like the Virgin Mary are behind her, and then their
They're
eyes and
making-
faces
yeah.
look different. And
I was like, I could dig this. One of my new favorite books is called A Head Full of Ghosts. Have I ever told you about that?
no, I don't think so.
It's really good. I recommend it. But it's basically about this family. One of the daughters is possessed, and it's told through the aspect of the younger daughter,
Mm.
but it's about this television crew that comes in and films it and all this stuff. And the big
Oh,
question
okay.
is it real kind of a thing? But the big aspect of it is the television crew and then the priest that comes in and like all these outside people. It's really
Oh.
interesting. I recommend you read it. And anyone listening, book recommendation, A Head Full of Ghosts. It's really good.
Nice. Right.
I was like, yeah. So that reminded me of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could get some more of
Behind
this.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it kind of fizzles out here. It's like, okay,
Right.
never mind.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Ah,
Assuming that finding Marie will settle the matter, she ventures to St. Luke's and encounters Jack. As they enter an operating room, Marie's spirit ejects and incapacitates Jack. Locked inside, Beth throws a chiming phone across the room where it knocks the air duct's grill cover loose, revealing a crawl space. Inside, she discovers Marie's charred corpse clutching a cell phone. She's still typing too, by the way. I was like, how long have you been looking for contacts?
she's like, please help me. I'm long dead, but please help me.
And it, of course, comes back to life as soon as she's in there, and she doesn't look at it for a second.
Yeah. Well, first, Beth is like prying this cell phone out of this
Dead
burnt
woman's hand.
I would be like vomiting. And she's like, this is fine. She's just like, let me just grab this real quick.
Right. Everyone's always too comfortable with the dead
No,
in
I'd
these
be
things.
freaking out. I'd be like, I think I may have found something. That's
Yeah, I'd be like,
good.
God, go and tell the police now.
Because I'm a vommy if I'm
Right.
around this stanky corpse any longer.
Right. And after pursuing and intercepting Beth, Marie weeps and murmurs, "Forgive me." Subsequently, Beth tells Jack that Marie might have brought her there to protect her.
Hmm?
And I don't know, they kind of like chalk it up as if like, okay, well, we found the originator of the call, so it must have been her. She's sorry for what she did. Okay. It's weird.
Right, because she's like, okay, so she brought you there to protect you from
But
herself.
she killed all your friends.
Right, like protect you from herself.
Mhm.
Like, and they're like, it's like in Poltergeist when she's like, this house is clean. I'm like, no, it's not. Nothing is clean.
We all know.
We all know you're wrong and you totally misread the situation.
Mhm.
Read the room, you're incorrect. Like, if this corpse was able to communicate to her, like, couldn't you just try a little bit harder and be like, it's not me, it's the other person who we'll
Right.
find out very soon.
Oh, yes.
With this really not surprising twist.
Right.
I was like, yeah, no shit.
So at Laurel's foster home, Jack visits this girl, and she was trying to get information from her before, and Beth was very aggressive, and she's like, who is it? Like, to this little girl that's just sitting in the corner not talking to anybody.
She might as well just like slapped her across the face.
She kind of did.
She was like one step away from just like, tell me.
Anyway, while he's there, Jack uncovers a compact disc from a nanny cam embedded in the eye of Laurel's teddy bear. The footage reveals Ellie incising Laurel with a knife in their bedroom. Marie entered shortly thereafter, discovered Ellie's abusiveness, and rushed Laurel to the hospital. Ellie, locked inside, began pressing wheezingly on an inhaler, but was overwhelmed and collapsed, facing the future curses. That's weird. Oh, facing the future curses constituents. So it's like everything that she cared about in her room is really haunting people. So she had like these dolls that looked similar to the ghost things that were appearing to people hallucinating. And she had a big old centipede in a jar. And that's why people keep seeing centipedes.
I know. I
was
love.
like, that's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, because like if you saw these dolls in the jar of centipedes she owned, obviously something's wrong with this child.
Right.
Like they're creepy corpse, gross, ghost looking.
Like weird, like marionette-like style dolls.
Right.
With like these, I'm almost like Day of the Dead kind of makeup on them.
Kind of. And the weird part is everything else in the bedroom is like a normal little girl room. It's just these weird
Little
random
pieces of
things.
things. Yeah.
Just because
Because when
like,
they investigated the the apartment. They left it out of these notes, but they investigated the apartment of this Marie woman and her children, and they found all the creepy stuff really in the little girl's room. They should have known.
Right.
And also Beth at one point told Jack that she's like, I've heard that inhaler sound before. Every time before someone dies, I hear the wheezing sound of the inhaler. And I'm like, wonder who did that. Like,
I wonder who did it?
Who got the asthma?
Yeah, it's just, I see what they try to do, but like
not a good mystery at all.
No, they just place these really weird objects that I don't know. Like, even though she was like bad, I guess, like, you're going to shoehorn these really weird objects to make her seem even weirder.
Yeah.
Like, and the rest of the room was totally fine, so it made no sense. I was like, okay. And then the jar of centipedes. Where did she get? These are not like house centipedes, mind you. These are like tropical,
huge ass centipedes that are still alive too, like in these fucking mason jars that she has them in.
Yeah.
How long has it been since they've been in that apartment?
And where did you find, like, seriously, where did she find these?
They are super big too, like the icky, creepy, crawly ones.
The ones like the size of your arm?
Yeah.
Like, no.
And the lullaby, too, is actually from
the bear.
Music emanating from the teddy bear. So that's how they figured out that's what's making the phone call sounds.
This is the bear all along. The bear is killing everybody.
It would be so funny if it was actually just the bear.
You know what? Better ending, honestly.
So I guess before she died from asphyxia, she was dialing her mother's phone number. And Laurel imparts that though Ellie injured her, she always provided candies.
That's the only thing she said. At least she gave me candy.
I was like, what the fuck, kid? Like I know you fucked up, but...
She tried to kill me every day, but
she always gave me candy.
These giant red, orange candies.
She's probably hoping she choked.
Right. I'm surprised she didn't.
Right. Realizing Ellie caused the curse, he drives to Beth's house, during which a colleague informs him of a new voicemail. So they had a phone on the scene that between Jack and Beth, it was like his extra phone or something. And I guess they picked it up in evidence when they found the body for Marie. And when they are going through the stuff and sorting it to put it away in like a case file, it went off, and that was the voicemail that Jack is hearing. And it's Beth, of course, dying.
Shocking.
And after he enters, somebody knocks on the door. As he peers through the peephole, a knife stabs through it, like all the way through the door, killing him. Ellie appears and attacks Beth, but Marie's spirit intervenes, bounds Ellie in Jack's phone, and reconciles with Beth before just kind of evaporating away.
Okay.
Jack's mouth spills a red candy and his cell phone auto dials. So I'm like, so Marie just kind of came back and saved just you, and everybody else gets fucked.
Right. Why are you so special?
Right. And she's like, also, too, the reason Beth, I guess, knew about these signs of abuse and that, like, Marie might have been diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy was she had her own abusive mother. So I almost feel like that's what Marie is taking sympathy on her for. Because, like, she was accused of being a bad mom, and Beth had a bad mom. So Marie's like, oh, sorry, you had a shitty mom. So.
Yeah, and no one else in the world suffers with any other issues, so they must die.
Yeah.
But I feel for you.
Right. Thanks for trying to find my body and all that stuff, but my daughter's going to keep killing people.
It should have ended with them just resolving the whole, and it ends. Like, there's no weird cliffhanger where it's like, calling a new number. Like, no.
Didn't
it's not it.
Yeah.
It's not it.
You're telling me that the little girl survives it all, like, kind of thing, like the little girl ghost is the thing that can withstand everything.
I guess so. I don't know. And I was mad Jack died, and the whole ending happened like just in the last 5 minutes. It's like, oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as like they said that they'd like to go out sometime, and then they like follow up with the scene of her alone in her house, I'm like,
yeah,
it's not done.
Yeah, I was gonna say we still have some time. This is a really short movie, otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Womp.
Womp womp.
That was one missed call. It was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
I just feel like every episode, like, it was lovely. Like, we liked it.
Did we?
No, it's okay. You know what? Truth be told,
sometimes it's fun to watch the bad ones.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward now to next season where we watch some good ones.
Some I know are really good.
Yes.
Based on the list. Anyways,
Would you like to hear about ghost calls?
Ooh, yeah.
Ghost phone calls, also known as phantom calls, are telephone calls where the recipient's phone rings or vibrates, indicating an incoming call, but there is no visible caller ID or any information displayed on the screen. When the recipient answers the call, there is no one on the other end, and they may only hear silence or background noise.
That's a butt dial. My
Yes.
butt makes phantom calls all the time. It's like, hey.
It's the main culprit of this
Yeah.
article.
My ass. It was my butt the whole
It's
time.
been traced back to Alex's ass.
Every ghost call that's ever happened has just been my booty. Like, guess who?
So these ghost calls can be frustrating and puzzling for the recipient, as they may wonder who's calling and why there is no response. Yeah, obviously.
I am so frustrated. Why is there no response to this phantom call?
Alex's booty, what is up? Why do you keep calling? Ghost calls can occur on both landline and mobile phones, and they can happen for various reasons.
No, we determined it's only one.
Yes. This is gonna be the TikTok segment, and you're gonna have to do a graphic with your butt.
I'll do it. I'll do it for the Vine.
Causes of ghost phone calls. Pocket dials or accidental pressing. Sometimes ghost calls can occur when someone accidentally presses a button or presets their phone, causing it to dial a number unintentionally.
There go.
A ghost! Scanner probing, SIP ports. They can also be a result of scanner probing session initiate protocol ports, primarily port 5060. Scans are made to identify vulnerable systems or exploit security weaknesses.
The hell is that?
I don't know. Maybe we'll cut that one.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I can't even comment on that.
Poorly configured auto dialers. In some cases, ghost calls can be caused by poorly configured auto dialers, which are automated systems used for making a large number of calls, so like call centers, I guess. These calls may be the result of misconfigured settings or glitches in the system.
Technology.
Yes. Technical glitches or malfunctions. Ghost calls can also occur due to technical glitches or malfunctions in the phone system or network infrastructure. These issues can cause false call notifications or incomplete call information to be displayed. Oh, this is nice. How to stop them.
Oh, thank God. That's what
How
we
to
really
stop
need.
Alex's booty.
Yeah, you can't be stopped.
Stopping ghost calls can be challenging, as the causes can vary. However, here are some steps to mitigate or prevent ghost calls. Check for pocket dials. Ensure that you are not accidentally triggering calls by checking your phone settings and disabling any features that may lead to unintentional dialing.
I just can't help it. It just happens.
my booty unlocks my phone every time.
All of a sudden I hear click, and then beep, 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 beep. Like, I hear it doing its thing.
Update firmware and software. Keep your phone's firmware and software up to date to ensure that any known vulnerabilities or bugs are patched. Secure network and firewall. If you are experiencing ghost calls on a business phone system, ensure that your network and firewall are properly configured and secure to prevent unauthorized access.
Oh my God, this is too much.
Yeah.
I don't got time for none of this.
Like, yeah, these ghost calls would have to be very creepy for me to be like, I want to stop this.
I know. These are called ghost calls, and I have not seen a single evidence of ghosts. This is just malfunctions.
Right.
What? That's not accurate.
Nah.
Inaccurate
Nah.
descriptions.
Contact service provider. If you continue to experience ghost calls, contact your service provider and report the issue. They may be able to provide additional information and investigate the problem further. And consider installing call blocking apps on your mobile phone that can help filter out unwanted or suspicious calls. It's important to note that while these steps may help reduce the occurrence of ghost calls, they may not completely eliminate them, especially if the calls are the result of external factors such as scanner, probing, or technical glitches.
Or my booty,
Or Alex's booty.
or demons,
Or the demons.
which we did not talk about.
Yeah, they didn't put the demons in the article. I'm sorry.
I know. Why are we not talking about the real threat?
Okay, let's talk about it. Have you ever gotten like a strange call that you couldn't explain?
I have gotten a really creepy one. It sounded like, I think it was just an old lady, not, you know.
Sure.
But you couldn't barely make out what she was saying, and it sounded so creepy. She was like, I was like, ah! Like, it was so scary.
She was just like,
It was like the voicemail was very, very creepy. I was not a fan.
Yikes.
That's the only one I could really think of off the top of my head, but that freaked me out.
You know what freaked me out, though? The ones that used to call and be like, you've been subpoenaed or something for court. And I'm like,
no, I didn't do nothing.
No, not this time.
I used to get one. It wasn't like a ghost call or anything. Someone either just gave my number as their number to avoid whatever it was, but it was a call for Natalie Hart, and she owed a lot of people money.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Troublesome.
I was like, you're due in court, or your thing's due, or something's going to happen all the time. It was like a span of like a year. I would get like a call at least once a week for Natalie Hart. I'm like, Natalie?
Damn. Get your life together.
She'd been giving out my number. It's like, yeah, here, go call this. And I was like, oh my God.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was a lot. And she's, Natalie Hart, if you're listening, I hope you got your life together. This has been a while, but you owed a lot of people a lot of things.
Yeah.
So hopefully you got that taken care of.
That always surprises me, though, too. Like, because when you think about how long you've had your phone number, too, like, because sometimes I get that and I'm like, I wonder if someone just hasn't updated information or whatever. But I'm also like, I've had my phone number since like 2011.
I've had my phone number since 2005.
Damn.
My first cell phone. And there's no way.
Yeah.
This has been my number for a very, very long time.
Right.
Natalie.
You can't just come in here.
You can't come in here and give people my number and be like, LOL.
Right. I got enough problems with my booty going rogue.
I know. My ass got mind of its own and can't be stopped. It can't be taking no calls. It's got calls to make. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful and we will appreciate it.
You can find us on social media at 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams and we will see you next week.
What's in the box? Do, 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 do. It is a phone. Do, 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 do. What's in the phone? Do, 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 do. It is a ghost. Do, 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 do.